Welcome to the Ohio Association for College Admissions Counseling and Articulation. We're so excited to have you participating in this event today. We have some fantastic schools with us, and we're going to get to them in just a minute. But first, just a few quick housekeeping items to go over. The first is that my name is Christopher, and I'll be facilitating this event. And just a reminder that your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists will not be able to see or hear you. Also, attendees are welcome and certainly encouraged to ask questions to any of the panelists at any time utilizing the Q&A feature. StriveScan will have a recording of this session available at strivescan.com/Ohio-articulation. Without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and turn it over to our first presenter, which today will be from the College for Creative Studies.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Christopher. my name is Patty Spencer. I'm an admissions counselor at the College for Creative Studies in Detroit, Michigan. And I am going to share my screen real quick here because you don't need to look at me. And we will take a look at what I have available for you guys, and as fast as I can talk, basically. CCS, like I said, is located in Detroit, Michigan. It's actually been around for a long time. The school was founded in 1906 as the School Society of Arts and Crafts, which is kind of interesting to me. And then they began offering degrees in the mid-70s. Now we are a 4-year BFA program, as well as an MA and MFA master's degree programs. We offer several, and we have some exciting changes this year, so that's very cool. It's really interesting, people hear Detroit and kind of have different responses to that. But as far as the art school goes, it really is an amazing city. It was named the first UNESCO City of Design in the country, which is pretty cool. And it really does support what we're doing in the visual arts. There's a lot going on as far as music, performing arts, all kinds of public art, museums, galleries, all of those kinds of things. And it really makes it a great place for an art school. The school, like I said, has been around for quite a while. It is fully accredited. We have very unique programs, majors I'll talk about here in just a minute. We have just over 1,400 students this year, and they come from all over the country. I don't remember off the top of my head the numbers for fall 21, but it is something like 37 states or 38 states and about 36 or 35 different countries. We did see our international population obviously drop off last year, but we have recovered that a little bit. It has an amazing alumni network for graduates. This number down here to me is really important when you're working with students. We have over 400 companies that have visited our campus just in the last few years to interview and recruit students. The big thing that I want you to take away from this presentation is that whole idea of starving artist needs to go away. There are too many different things that students can be doing these days, that graduates can be doing. There are amazing career opportunities, and they pay very well, which is really amazing to some people. If you really start to think about it, art literally touches your life in ways you don't even imagine. There we go, 34 states and 27 countries. And these are the updated numbers, so I apologize for that. You guys are my first 6x6. So the other number that's on here too is the student to faculty ratio, 9:1, which I think is really good. We have 11 different majors and 9 different emphases within those. You can see those here. They're available on our website. I will give you guys a link when I'm done in the chat, and it will take you right to our educator page on our website, which has a ton of additional information on it. 2 quick changes that we have this year. The fashion accessories design program is now fashion design. So students can actually do clothing or accessories. So that's a really, really interesting thing. We have one of the best transportation design programs in this country, and are very, very proud of that as well. And our graduate programs this year have undergone some major changes. The addition of an MA in addition to an MFA in some areas, And then a couple of new ones. Art education is new, and the motion design is new, user experience design. So if you have anyone or you know anybody interested in that, definitely take a look at those. Again, like I said, that whole idea of starving artists needs to go away. We have been recognized, CCS has been recognized in a lot of different ways as far as the quality of the school. You see these kind of things all over the place. So I encourage students to take a look at them. This goes back to that idea of companies that recruit at the school. You guys should recognize a lot of these names. And again, this is just a sampling of them. We have companies coming in offering internship programs for students. We had a lot of alumni that work at different companies that come back to hire students, because they know what they're going to get. They're going to get that quality of education. There's a bunch of numbers. I know, that's a tough thing, but this is really important. A couple of them here I want to point out. 96% of our students are getting a job, their first job, within 1 year of graduation. I think that is huge. Another one is that starting salary range, which I think is amazing. So there's some more information like this on our website. Again, I will give you guys that link. And we have a summer pre-college program for high school students. This is a great opportunity for them to earn some college credit, learn a little bit about the school, try out a different major. And there are some competitions to get this for free. So that's kind of cool, depending on what their area of interest is. Application is easy. We have a free online application. Need those transcripts. Minimum GPA for admission is a 2.5. We do not require test scores. They do, however, require a portfolio, 8 to 12 pieces of work. There is great information about what to include in the portfolio on our website. December 1st is our early action deadline, and February 1st is our priority deadline. So we definitely encourage students to take a look at that. 42% of our students graduate with no loans, which I think is amazing. We definitely want them to file the FAFSA form, And here are some great QR codes for more information. And again, I'm going to put the links in the chat as well. So thank you very much. And I'm on to the next person.
Thank you very much, CCS. And up next, we're going to hear from Ohio Dominican University.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kaylee. I'm our interim director at Ohio Dominican University. Today, we are hosting the in-person articulation. So following this presentation, I'll be hopping off, but I will put my email in the chat for anybody that has questions afterwards. So to get you to know ODU, I do want to introduce some of our staff that we have here. These are our admission counselors. We have Becca Morlock, who is our senior recruitment coordinator. She works with schools from Cincinnati, basically Northeast Ohio. Brooke Hansen works with Northwest Ohio. Drew Siders works with Southeast Ohio. And then John Neely works with our transfer and adult students. And then I'm currently working with our students from Southwest Ohio. We do call, email, text, whatever you prefer. We try to be as available as we can. So if you need anything, we are all going to be your go-tos. Now that you know a little bit of our Panther family, I do want to talk about the most important Panthers on our campus, which are our students. So just to give you an idea of what our typical student looks like here, they have a 3.3 GPA, an average 21 ACT or 1070 SAT. Students aren't required to take the ACT or SAT, and we'll get to that once we get to our admission route slide. But we do have about 1,500 students on campus. 29 of those students are represented from 29 different countries. So we have a variety of our students on campus, and each of those students as well is going to receive a bare minimum of a $14,000 merit scholarship if they're admitted up to $21,000. So these students, they have quite a few options when it comes to majors and programs. Some of the big things that I really want to highlight, we are a heavy science-based campus, but that doesn't mean that we don't have the arts as well involved in our programs. It's kind of whatever the student wants to make of it. We have a really cool innovation and entrepreneurship program where students are able to develop businesses that they are hoping to create. Natalie Compa is one of our professors that's helping coordinate those programs. And then we do have 4+1s for business, English, TESOL, sports management. And then for Dayton, we have a partnership that's a 3+2 program. So that is specifically for law and engineering. And then we do have an accelerated pathway as well, involving our PA program. So that's a direct admit program for early assurance students. So students coming from high school hoping to become a PA. So great opportunities, and there are a variety of grants that we offer as well for our education programs and those science programs. And in addition to those grants, honors is another great way for students to get scholarships through us. Bare minimum, they'll get an additional $1,000 scholarship by being a part of that program. We do offer full tuition scholarships for our honors as well. Students are required to have a 3.7 GPA if they're interested in honors, and that application is now open. The deadline will be mid-January for those students, and we are not requiring an ACT this year. That's something that we have waived, and we are hoping that that will just be removed moving forward. So stay tuned. And then students can complete their application online. This year, they'll just complete one essay, and then they'll submit a teacher recommendation for this. So aside from on-campus experiences, a little bit about ODU is that we're located in Columbus, Ohio. We're about 10 minutes from the airport, 10 minutes from Easton, and 10 minutes from downtown. So students have a variety of opportunities to explore Columbus in its full capacity. There's so many festivals that are happening around. And like I said, Easton is just around their corner, Fortune 500 companies in our backyard. So the opportunities are really endless for what a student might want to do and accomplish while they're here. A lot of student organizations will actually go to games like the Clippers, the Columbus Crew, Blue Jackets, and sometimes those can even be internship opportunities that turn into full-time jobs post-graduation. So it's really nice to have that in our backyard. And then students also have study abroad opportunities as well. So getting to ODU, that'll be a little bit different this year. We have updated our admission policies. So for our general admission, that's traditionally submitting your transcript, your ACT and SAT scores. Students can absolutely still do this. Same with test optional. We have revised our test optional policy. So this just requires a transcript and a teacher recommendation, and then an essay from one of the common application prompts. So for our teacher recommendation is a form that teachers would fill out to describe the student. It just lets us know that they're meeting all the criteria that we expect at ODU. And then for transcript only, students just have to submit their transcript. We require a 2.3 GPA or higher, and we compare this to their core GPA. So their core GPA would also need to be a 2.3. As long as a student is admitted, they're going to receive a $14,000 merit scholarship up to $21,000. So there's quite a few different options. Our admission staff are working with each of those students that applies to make sure that they're choosing the route that is best for them. As soon as we receive materials for any of these categories, we're looking to advocate for them. They're not going to get hurt by applying by one versus the other. So we'll be working with your students every step of the way. And then for your students, and then also if you are interested, we are offering visits. We have daily visits. Those can be either in person or online. Preview days we have coming up on September 18th and November 13th. So those are also, all of our stuff is basically offered in a hybrid format if you're interested. And then group visits are open again. So if you have a group of 10 or more that you're hoping to visit campus, they can come take a tour, sit in on a class, whatever you're hoping to make of it. But opportunities are there. And we would love for you to stay connected with us. So if you go to ohiodominican.edu/high school HS counselor, you'll be able to find all the information that I just talked about on there, but you'll also be able to connect with your school counselor or your admission counselor specifically. And I will give it back to you, Chris.
Thank you very much, ODU. Up next, we're going to move to Michigan Technological University.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Lauren Flanagan. I am your dedicated Ohio admissions rep for Michigan Tech. I'll share my screen in just a second here. All right, hopefully you can see that okay. So I would love to just get into the nitty gritty about all the things that are new, but I'm guessing some of you watching this may have very little knowledge of Michigan Tech. So I'm going to try to give it to you in a little nutshell bubble today. Well, maybe if I can advance my screen. Where is Michigan Tech? We are in the Upper Peninsula, the absolutely beautiful UP of Michigan. It's a little bit of a drive for your students, but I can assure you it would be worth it, especially for your students that are looking at the STEM fields, and I'll get into that in just a minute. We have about 7,000 students. It's a great size, easy transition, regardless of the size of the high school they attend. Small classes, lots of interaction with faculty. It's 13:1 student to faculty ratio, and over 125 programs. But again, our bread and butter is engineering, computing, those technological degrees where students can really get their hands dirty, sometimes literally in the work. The hallmark of a Michigan Tech education is that it is extremely hands-on and project-based and experiential. So every single student who graduates from Michigan Tech does so with a resume of things they've already done, not just things they learned how to do in the classroom, listening to a professor, but things they've done, whether it's a co-op or internship, which is a huge part of the tech experience, or maybe it's a senior design project, which are sponsored by industry. So like, Ford Motor Company might send a problem to our team of students and have them solve it. So real world problems that then students can then put on their resume when they go to get a job. So that's a common thread regardless of the major. That all leads to the positive outcomes, right? You want to know that your students are choosing a place that is going to give them the value that they're putting into it in terms of their tuition dollars. So we offer the second largest career fair in the country for a school that's in the middle of the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. It's not a bad deal to have this many companies coming to us for our career fair. Average starting salary of our grads is pushing $68,000 per year, which if you're a working adult, you understand what kind of money that is for a young person just starting out. It is 15th highest in the country. So we're just really proud of the work our students do while they're on campus that really drives the desire for recruiters to come seek out our students. We're also a snowy campus, right? I mean, people see where we are on the map and they're like, what the heck, that's a lot of snow. And yes, sure is, over 200 inches a year. But we have our own ski hill, and our students really love to embrace the winter with things like Winter Carnival. And students are willing to drive. Most of our students come 8 to 10 hours away from home. So your Ohio students will not be alone in making that trek. Lots of fun traditions. We're a very vibrant campus. I would love for your students to come visit us and see for themselves, but we just have a ton going on all the time. And we're not a commuter school, so there's something going on even on weekends as well. So the admission process, it's pretty simple. It's my sort of personal mission to make this process a little less stressful for your students. It is a free application, no essays, with the exception of our visual and performing arts majors, but the majority of our students do not have to write an essay. We do not need test scores for admission, and we do need a transcript, of course. So rolling admission, 2 to 3 weeks, we'll get a decision back to them. And typically we're looking for students with a B average or better. So if your student has a 3.0, have them apply. They can also submit test scores if it might help bump them into a new scholarship grid. But in our process with test scores, they can only help a student. They would never hurt a student. So I'm always happy to entertain questions if you have an individual case of a student who's not sure what to do, because I know every college is a little different on this, but generally speaking, no test scores needed. Our average, so I mentioned students need about a 3.0 GPA to be admitted on a 4-point scale, but that's just the minimum requirement. Our average student comes in with just under a 3.8 high school GPA and about a 1260 SAT, which is about a 27 ACT. So we attract some pretty bright students in an environment that's not competitive, really very tight knit and supportive. I love how incredibly bright and smart and tenacious our students are in all fields. That's my contact information. I'm sure I have not very much time left, but please reach out. I didn't touch on scholarships or any of that, but we do offer quite a bit of scholarship money. You're going to want to know that it's worth it for your student to drive past, a dozen other universities, including some Big Ten schools, to get to us. And you're going to want to know why. Oh, there's my timer. So let me know. I'm happy to reach out to you or to your student individually. Thank you so much. Thanks for all you do.
Thank you very much, Michigan Tech. Up next, we're going to move to Kent State University at Geauga and Twinsburg.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name is Bethany Bejo. I'm an admissions counselor at Kent State University, Geauga, and the Twinsburg Academic Center. We are one of Kent State's regional campus locations. I primarily spend most of my time at our Geauga campus in Burton, serving students of Geauga and Lake counties. In the bottom right of the screen here, we have a link and a QR code available for a Google Drive resource folder that will include information covered today, as well as other helpful materials. I'm also joined by my colleague in admissions, Mary Lynn Delfino, who will give us some more information about our campuses.
Thanks, Bethany, and thanks to all of our school counselors for being here this afternoon. My name is Mary Lynn Delfino, as Bethany said, and I'm an admissions coordinator, primarily working out of our Twinsburg Academic Center with students from Summit, Cuyahoga, and Portage counties. This map shows several points of access to Kent State University across our 8-campus system. The Geauga campus and Twinsburg Academic Center are actually considered one campus with 2 locations. The Geauga campus is about 45 minutes from Kent in beautiful Burton, Ohio, also known as Pancake Town, USA, for all of its maple syrup. And Twinsburg is about 25 minutes from the Kent campus, located between Kent and Cleveland, right off of I-480.
So when students were asked what they liked about our campus, these are some words that came to their minds. Something else that they love about our campus is that they are a Kent State student from the beginning, and they do not have to be a transfer student to the Kent campus. All Kent State campuses are now test optional. We do not require ACT or SAT scores, but we can use them for course placement purposes. We do offer both associate's and bachelor's degrees that can be completed in full on our campus, as well as the beginning coursework to all of Kent State's nearly 300 undergraduate majors and degrees. We offer career-focused degrees, the most popular on our campus being nursing, business management, information technology, and middle childhood education. We also have a respiratory therapy technology program that is a hybrid program with our Ashtabula campus. And our campus also has articulation agreements with both the International Culinary Arts and Sciences Institute in Chesterland and Paul Mitchell the School in Cleveland and Columbus, where upon completion of those programs, students can complement their technical education with a college degree.
As Bethany alluded to, Kent State Geauga and the Twinsburg Academic Center give students access to a 4-year university, but with tuition that's priced closer to a community college. And with an average class size of 20, faculty and students alike love our small class sizes, which allow them to forge personal connections to help prepare them for their future career and or graduate studies. And all of our faculty have the same credentials as those at the Kent campus. Continuing our conversation here, looking at affordability, you can see in this chart how Kent State Geauga and the Twinsburg Academic Center stack up against other Ohio colleges and universities' tuition costs. So students here at our campus and all the Kent regional campuses pay less in tuition and have access to all of the resources of a world-class research university. In addition, 87% of our students are awarded some form of financial aid, while 80% of our freshmen receive a scholarship to our campus. So that might be a merit-based scholarship based on grades or a donor-funded scholarship that they apply for. College Credit Plus students who matriculate to our campus as freshmen receive an additional $500 in merit scholarship money. Our donor-funded scholarships require an application that's due in mid-May. And just as an FYI, each Kent State campus has different requirements and applications for scholarships. So your students who might be looking at multiple Kent campuses should check in with the campus of their choice to see what the process may be.
We offer many student support services on our campus that include academic success coaching and workshops, tutoring, career services, and also student accessibility services for those students who may have an IEP or 504 accommodation. We also serve many first-generation college students on our campus and have support and resources to help them along their academic journeys. There's lots of ways for students to be involved on our campus, including student organizations such as our esports club and our newest club, Geauga Gardeners. We also oftentimes join with other regional campuses to host game nights, movie nights, and lots more fun.
And we know you as school counselors have a very important role in helping students to apply for college. So I want to give you a little bit of a rundown on our process. The fall 22 application for seniors is now open. And we're excited to share that we have a brand new application portal, which should make it easier for students to complete and for counselors to send documents to us. We are also, as a regional campus system for Kent State, no longer charging an application fee. Please note that regional campuses do not participate in the Common App. And sometimes we get asked, well, I don't know what campus my student should apply to or go to. They may want to apply to the Kent campus first to see if they're admissible, because that campus is selective in its admissions, while our regional campuses are open admissions. Applications can be easily switched between campuses. College Credit Plus, of course, is offered at all of our Kent State campuses for those interested in potentially earning college credit while still in high school or middle school. Please note that we have an upcoming deadline for those who would like to take classes in spring of 22. This is a hard deadline. Please contact us if you have any questions, or visit our website at kent.edu/geauga-ccp for more information and info on the eligibility requirements for this year.
So thanks for joining us this afternoon. Just a reminder to check out that resource folder. Always feel free to follow us on social media. It's a good way to stay up to date with happenings. And we are happy to accommodate virtual visits, classroom presentations, campus visits, and individual appointments. You can reach us at our emails or geaugaadmissions@kent.edu.
Thank you very much, Kent State, Geauga, and Twinsburg. Up next, we're going to hear from the University of Mount Union.
All right, hello everybody. My name is Savannah. I am one of the admission counselors here at the University of Mount Union. We are located in, see, this is what happens. There we go. So a little bit of UMU at a glance. We were founded in 1846. For a fun fact, President William McKinley did go to University of Mount Union. So a little fun fact there. We have about 2,200 undergraduate students and roughly 200 grad students, with about 8 grad programs that are roughly online for the most part. So they're not all on campus. So roughly we have about 2,300 undergrad students here. And we're located in Alliance, Ohio, which is a small suburban town located in Northeast Ohio, like an hour and a half, both from Pittsburgh and Cleveland, somewhere in the middle of there. And the mission of University of Mount Union is to prepare students for fulfilling lives, meaningful work, and responsible citizenship, which we really integrate through our classes. Extracurriculars, really everything we do at Mount Union. In terms of academics, we now have 49 majors. The most popular of that is usually in the STEM programs, but like we heard earlier, we still focus heavily on the arts and have a lot of VPA scholarships. But some of our most popular programs are going to be exercise science, nursing, and 5 of our engineering programs. We just recently added 3 engineering programs in 2018. So we have 5 of those now, and anything in the medical and engineering fields are going to be more of the popular ones at Mount Union. Like I mentioned before, we do have 8 programs ranging from MEds to Doctors of Physical Therapy. So you can do anything after that as well if you wanted to stick around Mount Union for a couple extra years. We have a 13-to-1 student to professor ratio. We really like to emphasize that because we know how much individualized attention is valued in the classroom. So we really want to focus on the individualized attention you're going to get throughout your whole 4 years and in all of your classes. We do have an average class size of 15. So again, with that small student to professor ratio, in that average class size, you're going to get really great individualized attention your whole 4 years here. We invest a lot of money into our campus, from the academic buildings, of course, but then little things like new benches, new things around the lakes. We have about $100 million invested in the university in the past decade. We have a lot of support for our students. This is the macaw who's really just taking it all in at the University of Mount Union. We have things like with our Center for Student Success, they're going to be the ones that offer our students all of the academic support they need, mental health facilities they might need, anything like that. So if you have a student who is interested in tutoring, you're going to go to the Center for Student Success. We have specific tutoring for just about every major, and then as well as athlete-specific tutoring. So you can visit them for specialized groups where they'll do a thing where you have to turn in your cell phone and little things like that, where you can really get that individualized attention for tutoring as well, even outside of the classroom. The student support doesn't just stop at academics. We also have our student accessibility services. So if you have students with IEPs, 504s, anything like that, we can set up meetings with student accessibility services so you can see what resources are available for students. We have experiential learning, things like studying abroad, getting internships, all things that are very popular at Mount Union. Study abroad, of which might be some of the most popular. We go to over 85 countries normally. Hopefully we'll get back to going to more countries after this year, so we can get back to that experiential learning outside of the classroom. And that doesn't just go for study abroad. We do a lot of internships or community service work just to make sure that our students are getting out into the world and learning outside of the classroom. We also have advising. Of course, it's very important to meet with professors to make sure you're staying on track. So all students are given an advisor their very first day on campus. Really, they get it in about June before they come here. So they're going to get their academic advisor so they get help staying on track. So you graduate on time and stick with all your graduation requirements. They'll be meeting with them every semester, which is always really helpful. In terms of campus living, all of our students are required to live on campus, at least for the first 2 years, unless you live within a 45-mile radius. So we offer a variety of residential housing options. We have 7 first-year halls, 3 sophomore suite halls, and then apartments and townhouses. So 95% of our first-year students do live on campus, but all 70% of our students do live on campus for the whole 4 years. We are also not a commuter school, so we definitely have a lot of options available for students every day, all day, for housing, dining, activities, because the majority of our students do live here. So in terms of getting involved at Mount Union, we have over 85 plus student organizations ranging from diversity clubs, leadership opportunities, fraternities and sorority life is very popular here, service groups, spiritual life, study abroad, like I mentioned before, as well as the performing arts and esports. As you can see, esports is featured in this photo. Esports is still fairly new, I think, everywhere, but at Mount Union, we're a couple years in, but we actually are now known for having the National Coach of the Year for esports. So if your students are interested in esports, I highly suggest contacting us about that. And 85% of our students are involved at least one thing. We really do pride ourselves on being an and school. So I am an engineering major and on the esports team, and I'm also in the French club. We really like to pride ourselves on being an and school. And you can also be an athlete. So you can be an engineer and a football player. So we have 24 intercollegiate athletic teams. We are NCAA Division III, which does mean we don't offer athletic scholarships, but we do offer academic scholarships. And just because we're Division III doesn't mean we still don't have that Division I college feel, because we definitely do. I'd say some of the things we're most well known for are our football team, who has 13 national championships, as well as our track team and some others as well, who also hold some national titles. We have things that aren't NCAA. We also have our intramural sports. So you can play cornhole, spike ball, and I think our most popular one is inner tube water polo. So if your students want to stay involved and not necessarily on that national team, they can do something on the intramural level. And 40% of our students are actually student athletes. So we have a lot of resources available for our athletes. We have plenty of scholarship opportunities available. The most important of which in the beginning is going to be those academic scholarships. So when students apply, they can get a merit scholarship from anywhere from $13,000 to $21,000 a year, renewable for 4 years as long as grades are kept up. But we also have multicultural scholarships, VPA scholarships. So anything in theater, art, music, choir, anything along that, you can get that as well. So we have some additional scholarship opportunities as well, but those are some of the more well-known ones. And then lastly, just talking about becoming a rater. So you can apply online through the Common app or our website. We have the Common app, the Express app, and all we need is your transcripts and test scores if you choose to submit them, and we'll be happy to review that application. If you're interested, you can check us out online. And if you ever have any questions, please feel free to contact me or anybody in the Office of Admission will be happy to help. All right, I think that's my time, so thank you.
Thank you very much, Mount Union. And our final presentation this afternoon comes from the University of Roehampton, London.
All right, hopefully everyone can see that. Hi everyone, my name is Haley Drogas. I am the regional manager for North America for University of Roehampton, which is located in London in the United Kingdom. And I know I might seem a little out of sorts in this presentation, but I myself actually have a lot of roots in Ohio, and my bachelor's degree is actually from Kent State, so go Kent State. Sorry to everyone else. But just to move along here, so since we are down to the final minutes of the presentation today, so University of Roehampton is considered London's campus university. We have a gorgeous Parkland campus in Southwest London. So our students truly get best of both worlds. They have everything that the amazing city of London has to offer, which is one of the top student cities in the world. And then you also have everything that a traditional university and campus life that you would get similar to studying in the US. So you really get those best of both worlds. And then just a few fun facts and figures about Roehampton. One of my favorite things is that we have a very proud history dating back 180 years. And we were actually the first university in the UK to admit women. So very exciting about that. And we are ranked 5th among London universities for student satisfaction. So that is always a great thing to have because of course the students are what matter the most. And then we have a great rate of 93% for students finding work or furthering their degrees upon graduation within the first 6 months. And we have a very diverse community of approximately 146 nationalities on campus. And our US students would be considered overseas students. And of that, of our 9,000 students on campus, 20% are overseas students. So the US students would be a part of that number. And then just to show you in proximity to where we are to central London, on this map, if you scan that QR code, by the way, that will take you to our virtual tour so that you feel like you're in London and looking at campus. But you can see central London with the cluster of buildings. You'll see the Big Ben icon there, Houses of Parliament. So all of that is right there towards the east. And then if you go right down the green squiggly line, which is the River Thames, you will come to University of Roehampton, the green building. And we are right near Wimbledon. So if there are any tennis fans in the presentation today, you'll know exactly where I'm talking about. And then just to quickly show you what our beautiful Parkland campus looks like on a graphic slide. So 3 of our 4 historic colleges are shown on this map. Our Whitelands College, which is our oldest college, is about a 10-minute walk from the rest of campus, and it actually overlooks the largest Royal Park, Richmond Park. But as you can see, we have 2 lakefronts on campus, many areas that are completely green, open spaces, lots of trees. So especially during these trying times, it's great for students to be able to walk outside of class, rip those masks off and breathe in the fresh air and not have to worry about being in central London for their studies or even for living. So just to show you, we have a lot of space and a lot of resources on our campus. And we have 6 academic departments currently. So our School of Arts, Business and Law, Education, Life and Health Sciences, Psychology, and Humanities and Social Sciences. Some of our more popular undergraduate programs for US students include creative writing, English literature, our nursing programs, which are very specific within adult and mental health nursing, and our psychology programs are world-renowned, as are our dance programs. We're one of the top dance programs in the United Kingdom. And one of my favorite things to make note of is, especially if you have students that they don't want to feel like they're in school forever, our bachelor's degrees in the UK are only 3 years in length. So students not only save time on their education, but money as well. And then in terms of undergrad entry requirements, we typically look for a US cumulative GPA of between 2.8 and 3.0. And we are test optional, but students are always welcome to submit scores if they feel like it would help and benefit their application. And we do have a requirement of an AP exam within a relative subject for our life science programs, as well as our English and creative writing programs. And then our dance programs, of course, require an audition. We are on the UCAS application, which is basically like the UK version of the Common App. So students can apply to that through that rather if they're applying to up to 5 UK schools. Otherwise, I always recommend for students to apply directly through our website because it is free and very user-friendly. And just like schools in the US, we're looking for basic things like a personal statement, those high school transcripts if they're applying to undergrad, of course, undergrad transcripts if they're applying to postgrad, and then letters of rec, so pretty basic. And then we have rolling admissions, so students can always find time to apply to us. And we are quite affordable if you compare our tuition in US dollar equivalent compared to private schools in the US, or even if a student is also looking at public schools that are out of state. So very affordable. And then again, just a friendly reminder that rough estimate of overall tuition, living expenses, and everything at $35,000 US dollars, you're only multiplying that number times 3 instead of 4 years, since our bachelor's degrees are 3 years in length. So you're saving a whole lot of money there just because our degrees are shorter in the UK. And we are also on FAFSA. So if you have students who are planning to use federal aid, they can do so. And we have scholarships as well. I will quickly jump along there. We're one of the top research universities in the UK, and we have all single bedrooms accommodation on campus and a lot of college life and competitive sports. And that brings me to the end, just to stay on time. Thank you all so much. And it was lovely to speak today.
Thank you very much, University of Roehampton. And thank you to all of our schools today for your great presentations. It's not easy fitting everything into 6 minutes, and we certainly appreciate your time. We definitely want to thank all of our attendees for joining us. Before we do wrap up this session, just a few quick housekeeping items. When you close this window, you will receive a very quick 5-question survey that we ask that you complete. And again, a recording of this session will be available at strivescan.com/Ohio-articulation. But thank you again to everybody. I hope you have a great weekend and enjoy advising your students on the college process. Have a great day.